What's up, ninjas, and welcome to Yoga with Dojo Cat. Today we're going to be doing a yoga flow for core stability and flexibility. We've got a lot to get into, so let's just get into it. We're going to begin in a child's pose. Whether you want it to be a wide-legged child's pose or a closed-legged one, it's up to you, whatever feels good to you. Just bringing the hips down to the heels, extending the arms out in front of you and bringing the forehead to the mat. Keeping those forearms nice and lifted, fingers spread. Maybe taking a little bit of movement here if it feels nice. Rocking side to side. And we'll take a second in this child's pose to arrive to our practice today. So maybe you want to find some stillness and bring the mind to the breath. Just noticing the inhale, following the air in through the nose, feeling the chest rise, the belly lift, and then exhaling, feeling the belly contract, the warm air exiting through the mouth. Just remembering that this is your practice today. If there's any poses that you don't want to do, you don't have to do them. Just do what feels good for you. And if you'd like to take a moment here to set an intention, my theme for this week is to allow yourself to make mistakes. Just getting back up and trying again. One more nice deep breath in this pose, really stretching the abdomen muscles with that inhale. And long exhale out. Beautiful. We'll roll forward, lifting up, bringing the hands under the shoulders. Bring the knees together if you were in the wide-legged child's pose. And drop the hips for a cobra pose, lifting the head up nice and high. Pulling the shoulder blades down and back. Feeling the abdomen stretch. I just realized I never put music on. I'm gonna have to do that. The silence is nonsense. Beautiful. I'm just gonna click my heels. Just get more unhinged as we go on here. I'm gonna click my heels, and when I come back, there's gonna be music. And then we're back. Anyways, enjoying the stretch in the abdomen. Taking a deep breath in, and on the exhale, pressing the hips back, tucking the toes, lifting the hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Getting whatever movement you need in this down dog, maybe pedaling out the feet, maybe rocking up onto the tiptoes. Maybe if you have any tension in your neck, nodding the head yes, or shaking it no. Just gentle, slow movements. And then maybe when you're ready, finding some stillness. All right, from here we're going to move into a dolphin pose. So you may need to make some adjustments. Maybe you need to bring your hands out a little farther in front of you. Just keeping the neck nice and relaxed, gaze on the toes. Just going to bend the arms to bring the elbows underneath the shoulders and take whatever adjustments you need. You're up on the tiptoes. Maybe you want to curl the toes a little closer towards the elbows. Taking a nice deep breath in. And staying right here if this is fine for you. Or adding a challenge by lifting the right leg, pointing the toes. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Bring toes back to the mat, plant into the hands, come back to downward facing dog. I don't know about you, but I'm shaking and slightly regretting my plan for today. Oh boy. We'll keep going with this flow though. So when you're ready, rolling forward from the toes into a high plank, putting your weight into the left hand, tipping the heels over to the left, extending the right arm to the sky, coming into side plank. Option to drop down to the left knee if that feels good for you. Ooh. Amazing. Extending that bottom leg out in front of you, coming into fallen triangle, lifting the hips nice and high, and then lowering the bum all the way to the mat. Whew. So the thing about these poses is, yeah, we're working our arms and the shoulders, but you're gonna feel your core engaging. Your core is what provides the stability in these poses. So, bending the left leg, crossing it over top of the right. Take a nice deep breath in, expanding the arms to the sky. And then exhale, twisting over to the left. Maybe bringing that right elbow in outside of the left knee, taking your gaze over the left shoulder. If you want to add a little challenge to this half Lord of the Fishes pose, you can take that left hand, instead of having it on the mat, wrap the arm around your lower back. So your core is kind of forced to do some work here. Keep that spine nice and tall. Beautiful. And release. Unwind the legs. Bend the knees, pulling the heels up closer to the bum. We're gonna move into a boat pose, but we'll stay with this first variation for this flow. So keeping the heels on the mat, keeping the hands behind the knees, and then just tipping back until you feel that core engage. Keep the spine nice and tall, shoulders down away from the ears. Keep breathing. You might start to shake, that's okay, that's a beautiful thing. That's your core getting stronger. Amazing. One more breath here. We're going to gently release all the way to our backs. I'm just going to shift here so I'm in the center of my mat. And we'll move into a half plow pose here. So extending both of the legs straight up to the sky, and think about squeezing your thighs together, squeezing your core. Beautiful. Then we'll bend the legs, pulling the knees into the chest. Maybe taking a second here to get in some nice little ankle rolls as a bonus. Then bringing the arms out to a T or a cactus, whatever feels good for you. Letting your knees drop over to the left, taking your gaze over the opposite shoulder. Take some nice deep breaths here in this twist, really thinking about creating space in between the ribs on your right side. Really let that belly expand on your inhales. Beautiful, coming back to center, recentering those hips, bringing the hands down beside the hips, extending both legs long, pointing the toes, and lift the left leg. Just let it hover above the mat and think about your tailbone here. So if you can reach underneath your back and there's a space there's a little cave there for you to put your hands underneath, tuck your tailbone so you can connect your lower back to the mat. This pose is going to feel more intense. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath on these static poses. And lower that leg down to the mat. Beautiful. We're going to sit up, turn over onto our left hip, bend that left knee, plant the left hand under the shoulder, lift the hips up, extending the right arm overhead, reaching your fingertips away from your toes. And then If it feels okay, lifting that right leg parallel to the mat, squeezing that core. Beautiful. Release. Turn the hips square to the mat. Plant the hands, tuck the toes, lift the hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Amazing work, you guys. And we'll take that flow to the other side. So again, taking whatever movement feels good for you. Maybe this time you want to take your right hip and just twist to hover above the mat. Lift the hips back to the sky and then twist to the other side just to hover. Twisting the core and then getting a nice little bonus arm workout at the same time. We'll do one more on the other side. Hopefully I didn't bump my mic. It's kind of in a weird spot. Beautiful. And then we'll go into that dolphin pose. So maybe crawling the hands a little bit higher in front of the shoulders, taking your gaze to the knees, bend the elbows so you can rest on them. Shoulders should be above the elbow. Dolphin pose is a great alternative if you have wrist pain and downward facing dog is painful for you. And then again, staying right here if this is enough for you, or inhaling the right leg parallel to the mat. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Bring the toes back to the mat, planting into the hands. Lifting back into downward facing dog. Beautiful work. I don't know about you, but I am working. Beautiful. On your next inhale, rolling off the toes forward into your plank pose, pausing here for breath. And then tipping the heels over to the right, extending the left arm to the sky, maybe bringing that right knee down to help support you. Just making sure your shoulders stacked above the wrist for our side plank. Beautiful. Taking that bottom leg, bringing it in front of you, lifting the hips to the sky for your fallen triangle. And then gently lowering the bum all the way to the mat. We'll turn to face the short part of our mat, bringing the heels together, bending the right leg, crossing it over top of the left. Taking a deep breath in, inhaling the hands to the sky. Exhale, twisting over to the right, bringing the left elbow outside the right knee. Keeping the right hand on the mat if you want the support, or taking that bind, wrapping the arm behind the lower back to kind of force your core to support itself. Beautiful. A couple more breaths here. And gently release. Coming back to center, unwinding the legs. And we'll move into our boat pose this time. We'll bump it up a notch. So I'll give you 2 options for this one. So you can stay with the first variation we did, of course, just keeping the heels on the mat and the hands under the thighs. You can even just bump that up by extending the arms, palms to the sky, or bring those legs parallel to the mat, or straighten the legs for more of a challenge. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release. Whew. All right, shifting all the way onto the back. And you can go back into that half plow variation that we did by extending both legs to the sky, pointing the toes, and just holding there. Or if you'd like, you can go into a full plow pose. So I'll guide you through that. So bending the knees, pulling up them up to the chest. And then you're going to pop the knees towards the face, and at the same time, taking the hands under the lower back, using the elbows to support you. So pop the knees forward, bringing the hands under the lower back to support you. Elbows are underneath. And you can stay right here if this is lots, or straightening the legs. You can keep the knees right above the face if this is enough. Or if you want to bump it up even more, bring the toes all the way to the mat. Now the important thing here is that your neck is not hurting or crunching in any way. If you feel like there's too much weight on your neck, then just gently tip out of the pose, 1 foot at a time. This is a really nice stretch to do, not only for the lower back, but also all the way down the legs, the hamstrings, and then you're also engaging the core for this pose. So it's really nice all the way around. Amazing. Now, I'm just gonna add in a little challenge here for you if you like. And you can even do this challenge with the toes off the mat here. So we're gonna take our peace fingers and just wrap them around our big toes. And then from here, we're gonna try to roll into boat pose. So we're gonna need some momentum here. So using our core to pull our hips back down towards the mat and then roll up to come into a boat pose. If it takes you a couple tries, that's fine. If you fail, try again. Squeeze that core. Beautiful. And gently release. Nice work, guys. Extend the arms out in front of you, roll all the way to the back. Beautiful. Bringing the legs nice and long, pointing the toes, bringing the hands down beside the hips, and then lifting the right leg so it's parallel to the mat, pointing the toes. Again, finding that connection between your lower back and the mat. Beautiful. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Release. Pull the knees up to the chest. Give yourself a little hug. Bringing the arms to cactus or to a T, and then letting the knees fall over to the right. Taking your gaze over the left shoulder this time. Beautiful. A couple more breaths here, focusing on filling the belly, allowing yourself to take up space. And then releasing back to center, pulling the knees in one more time, giving yourself a nice hug, maybe rocking side to side. And then when you're ready, coming into a comfortable seat. And that's it for today. I hope you are feeling strong in the core. Let me know what you thought about this flow down below, and let me know how that plow to boat pose went for you. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I would love to have you in my little dojo. If you want longer videos, you can find me on Patreon under Yoga with Dojo Cat. And that's where I post 45-minute to hour-long videos, one every month. A new one for February will be up soon. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find me at DojoCat713 on Instagram. And that is that for this week. Go drink some water, be kind to yourself and be kind to others, and I will see you guys next time. Os.